I spent $100 on ants, or at least I would have, and I'll explain why later on. But inside this box is 3 ant colonies, and you may be asking yourself, why would you spend money on ants? And to that I would say, and the next thing that you may be asking is what makes these ants so special for them to cost over $100? First, we gotta unbox this thing. These ants were given to me by Buckeye Myrmecology, an online store that sells ants. Thank you very much. In fact, there are only a handful of ant stores that actually sell ants in the USA. Everywhere else like Europe, Asia, any of those countries, man, you guys are lucky. Inside the box came a cold pack, permit information, and of course, styrofoam peanuts to keep the ants safe during transit. But enough chit chat, my past self now has to talk. Alright guys, so things are about to get serious right now. Things are gonna get serious. So basically I'm going to save the last one for another video because that one deserves a video of its own. So since I don't know which one is which, I'm just gonna have to pick one at random and hopefully it's not the one that I'm saving for the next video. Alright, so moment of truth, let's hope these babies are all good. So with the Ziploc in hand and the toilet paper around the, or actually no, it's not toilet paper. The paper towel wrapped around the ants, we're gonna see if they made it or if they perished. Alright, moment of truth. Here we go again. Let me just unwrap the tape. And it's time for the most excruciating, anticipating, nerve-wracking next couple 10 seconds of me just being in silence. Honestly, every time this happens, I always hold my breath because you never know what's going to happen. Yo, I'm actually not trying to pull this too hard, but it's moving so slowly. Holy ants! And what do we have here? Antbaum Prenolepis imparis, also known as the false honeypot ant. Here you see the ants. These ones in particular are called false honeypot ants. And if you notice, there's some red dots in their abdomens. This is most likely a red sugary liquid the ants were fed before they came over here. They get their name by resembling honeypot ants, but they don't get as large. Alright, so it looks like this colony has a couple workers and a really healthy pile of eggs. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them off to the side for now. So let's go ahead and do part 2. And now looky here. This one right here is Camponotus modoc, also known as the black western carpenter ant. Compared to other ants in the US, carpenter ants are one of the largest, if not the largest. And I didn't even notice this until I checked back the video later on, but I caught the queen laying an egg. I've only seen this about 2 times in my life, but this right here would be the best footage I've got of a queen ant laying an egg. Pretty neat, pretty neat. So with the 2 ants that I wanted to unbox were the correct ones that I picked, the next video I want to save for the update. And that one will have the other one that I didn't unbox. And you know, for ants being in transit for about a week, they are bound to be very hungry. So I went ahead and gave them some honey. And almost instantaneously, the ants sensed it, and they started feeding. As you can see, the carpenter ant queen went straight for it. But the false honeypot ants didn't seem that amused, and it makes sense because it looks like they were already full, but I'll still leave this in here in case they get hungry. All ants go through 4 stages in life, so seeing these ants was very promising because they had almost all 4 stages, especially the false honeypot ants. They already had a couple workers. Carpenter ants, on the other hand, take a while to grow because they're larger ants. But I think I've disturbed them enough, so we're going to put them away for a couple days and then check back on them later on. Alright, so a couple days have passed and I have to now move them into a new home. Since their test tube is almost out of water, I don't want to risk them dehydrating. One of the most common problems in ant keeping is dehydration, especially when you're going on vacation for a long time. Since I'll be gone for more than a week, let's go ahead and move them into a tubs and tubes setup. And if you guessed it, we're just putting the test tube inside a container. I wanted to make something similar to their natural habitats, so for these carpenter ants, a foresty enclosure should suit them well. For this setup here, I'm mixing sand, cocoa fiber, coconut husks, and sphagnum moss. Next is applying a PTFE flow-on barrier so they don't escape, giving them honey, and placing them in with another test tube in case their current one dries up while I'm gone. Pretty sweet. Moving on to the winter ant setup, I'm pretty much doing the same exact thing, but with a thicker sand substrate. These ants dig deep chambers underground around forested areas near the base of trees. The soil mixture for them is ideally clay, sand, and vegetation. I'm using sphagnum moss again because I have a lot of it and it will be used to retain humidity. Now these 2 are only a few of the many setups that I'm going to be making for a future video, so subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Also, if you want to buy these ants along with the many others available on Buckeye Myrmecology, you can use the discount code ENDER10 for 10% off. And if you want to support me along with additional perks, now you can become a member on my YouTube channel. Becoming a member grants you additional perks such as behind the scenes, extra photos, and also some special badges. Or you can help support the channel by donating on my Patreon. Over there, I share photos about behind the scenes, current projects I'm working on, and much more. With all that said and done, my name is Ants, another fellow ant YouTuber, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you later, friends.